Hope everybody's having a great Pride Month. Shout out to the gays.
Hi, welcome back to Katie Can't Read. I'm Katie, I can read. This is my third time restarting this video because I keep running out of storage. Today I am wearing these rainbow dagger earrings I got on Etsy in the description box because today it is the middle of Pride Month and we are doing the queer book tag because gay rights. Happy Pride Month, everyone who celebrates. I love you. I see you. Go drink some water. I know you're dehydrated. And today I'll be giving you some queer book recommendations based on some different identities, and we're gonna have a really good time, and it'll be very just fun and fresh. And I pulled out my book journal just so I could remember some books, because if not, I'll be recommending the same two that I always do and not the ones that I also read. You know? Alright, so this tag was created by Anya, and all of her information will be in the description below. If you are not subscribed to Anya, first of all, you need to be. She does the most and is one of the hardest working people on small booktube. I highly recommend checking out her channel, liking, subscribing, all, you know the works, because she deserves it. So without further ado, we are going to jump into this tag. The first prompt on this tag is queer faves. What is your favorite queer book you've read so far this year? Oh man, oh man, oh man. A Complicated Love Story Set in Space by Shaun Hutchinson. If you thought I was going to say anything else, I am so sorry that you were wrong. This is probably one of the greatest books I have read ever. It was exciting from page 1 to the last page. It went in ways I didn't expect it going. It was so wonderful. I read it in February and I have not stopped talking about it since. It is honestly one of my favorite books I have read maybe ever. And if you haven't read it yet, please go to your library, to your Barnes & Noble, go anywhere and go buy it and read it, or check it out or whatever and read it, and then tell me what you thought, because it's amazing. It's about this boy named Noah, and he wakes up in space, tethered to a spaceship with no memories and the voice of a boy in his earpiece trying to get him back to the ship. And that's all I'm going to tell you, because it is insane. It's so good. It's a bit of a love story, a bit of a mystery, it's a bit of a sci-fi adventure. It is so fun. I love it. I love it. And I think you should all read it. I'm about to reread it. If no one stops me, I'll reread it right now. Alright, that is my #1 queer book of the year. And I don't think anything's gonna beat it. I dare an author to try and beat it. I dare them. Prompt #2 is For the Lesbians.
Let's go, lesbians, let's go! Here we go, lesbians. Here we go, lesbians, come on!
It is my personal favorite female relationship book. My favorite is, wow, sirens. Anyway, my favorite is The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I love The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. It is an incredible book that had me just like enraptured the entire time. It was the first book I read this year, and it really set the tone for how good a lot of the books I would be reading this year are. It is absolutely incredible, worth the hype. I know that a lot of people are like, I don't want to read a hyped book because what if it doesn't live up? But this is one that I promise you lives up every single time. Evelyn Hugo follows a young writer, and she gets the offer to write the biography of Evelyn Hugo, an old starlet from the 50s and 60s who was famous for 2 reasons. #1, having a very good close-up of her boobs in a movie, one of the first, and #2, having married and divorced 7 men. And it's all about figuring out who is the true love of Evelyn Hugo's life. It is a wonderful book. It's insane. I highly recommend if you haven't read it already. Alright, so the next prompt is MLM, which is what's my favorite MLM book, which it's like, you know, men who like other men. And for that I'm gonna go with If This Gets Out by Sophie Gonzales and Cale Dietrich. You guys aren't even ready for this book. You aren't even ready for this book. I got to read an arc of this in the vlog, and it was incredible. It doesn't come out until December, but y'all need to mark your calendars. Put it on your anticipated releases list, because this book is everything. It's about two boy band members that fall in love. That's all I'm going to tell you. But it's incredible, and I want to reread it right now physically, but I can't. I don't have a physical arc, and I'm going to have to wait until at least December to have a finished copy of the book, and it's pain. It's pain. But yes, this one was incredible. Highly recommend. Highly recommended. Do you hear me? Highly recommended. The next prompt is bisexual. What's my favorite book with a bisexual main character? And if I had said anything other than Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston, it would have been a lie. You would have had to call me out, and it would have been a lie. It would have been a lie. So this is my favorite. Do I have to say anything about this? Do I have to say anything about this? Because I'm not going to. Y'all know. Y'all know. Anyway, I feel like this is one of the perfect books. If you do, I have a plug. If you do want more and more and more buy book recommendations, consider joining the Buy Book Club hosted by Logan, Emily, and Kelsey. They do a buy book every month, and they have a good time over there. So I highly recommend joining them if you want more buy books. But this is my favorite one. I love it. It's the best. It's one of my favorite books ever. Okay, so number 5 is Transgender. What is your favorite book with transgender representation? And for this, I'm going with I Was Born for This by Alice Oseman. We are reading this for the Alice Oseman read-along, and if you need a reason to read it, that's your reason. This is my second favorite Alice Oseman book, and it is incredible. It is about an extraordinary week in this boy band's life and in the life of one of the biggest fans of the boy band, who has gotten tickets to go see them at their concert at the end of the week. And it tells in dual perspectives how their stories go forward and then cross. And it is so intense, so fun, and it's incredible. And one of our narrators is trans, and we love him. We love Mr. Jimmy Kagarichi. I am a stan. I'm a stan. If the arc were real, I would stan wholeheartedly. She says as she knows she would be a Lister stan. Anyway, it's a really, really beautiful book, and it talks a lot about fandom culture and the pros and cons of it, and it's really good. So if you need a reason to read it, join the Alice Oseman read-along. We will be reading it in late July. The next prompt is queer, and for that, it's what's your favorite Own Voices queer book? So first of all, I want to say that I don't think that Own Voices is the default. I think it is a privilege to read an Own Voices book, because that means the author was willing and able to share their story with us. But I don't think it should be the default. And, you know, I think it's okay for you to read books that aren't Own Voices too. Anyway, my favorite Own Voices book, though, is Loveless by Alice Oseman. You guys, this book means the world to me. We are rereading it this summer for the Alice Oseman read-along, and I'm very excited. But yes, okay. So Loveless is about Georgia, who goes off to college, and is struggling with her identity and figuring out who she is. And she figures out that she is aromantic and asexual, and it is just this very moving, powerful story about, you know, love and what is important, romantic love versus non. And I love this book. Alice Oseman is aroace, as she has declared many a time, and it is a beautiful story. So please read it with us this summer for the Alice Oseman read-along. I have a full review of this book on my channel. I'll link it in the cards for you, but it means a lot to me. The next prompt is aroace, and what's your favorite book with aroace representation? Man, so many, but one of the first one, I'm gonna go with the first one I read, which was The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy by Mackenzi Lee. So this book was the first book to make me cry. Felicity is a very, very, very personal character to me. I think she is so well written, so well handled, and so cool. So there's essentially this monologue in the middle of the book where she's talking to her friend and is like, well, I don't want to be married. I don't want any of it. I just want to be a doctor and then to maybe have a house that's big enough that I can have a lot of books, but small enough that I don't have to worry about cleaning it. And I started crying because me too. She is canonically arrow and ace, and I love her. And it is just a really, really well done characterization. And it's really refreshing to read characters who are arrow ace or either or both, who are on a different adventure, and it's not about who they are at their core. It's about the adventure they're on, and that's what The Lady's Guide to Petticoats and Piracy does so brilliantly. It is truly about her adventure and her journey, and it just happens to have an arrow ace character in the center of it, which I think is beautiful. And if they ever make a movie of it, I am hereby putting my name in the hat to play Felicity, because I think I should do it. You know, I just think I'd be great. Prompt number 8 is pansexual, and I actually haven't read a lot of books that are pansexual. The only one that's coming to my brain is Loveless by Alice Oseman. There is a side character who is pansexual, and she has a very fun little love story in it. I love her. But I don't have a lot of other recommendations. If you have recommendations, please give them to me, because I am always looking for more books to read, and I would love to read some more with some pansexual representation. But Loveless has some pansexual rep if you would like to have another reason to read it. And then for number 9, we have QPOC, which is what's your favorite book with queer person of color representation? And for that, I am going with Cemetery Boys by Aiden Thomas. Not only is this own voices, it is also centric around a Mexican, American, transgender main character. And I love Yadriel. I love him. So essentially, Cemetery Boys is about Yadriel, who is a transgender brujo, and his family is like, no, you can't do magic. And he's like, watch me. So he goes and tries to figure out what happened to his cousin who has just died, and ends up accidentally summoning the ghost of the resident bad boy at school, Julian Diaz. And things go from there. It's a very, very fun, beautiful book that I think about regularly. Like, I genuinely think about this scene where Julian is in the classroom where Yadriel is trying to study and no one can see him except Yadriel, and he's just like knocking things over, and it's so funny. Like, it's just such a good book. I highly recommend. Go read it. You go read it. Although maybe wait until October, because it's best to read it during like the Dia de los Muertos season, because it's very centric around that holiday. So highly recommend. Highly recommend. It also introduced me to one of my favorite booktube people, because we became friends because of this book, Nicole from Nicole Reads, who I love. And I'm proud of her for finishing her finals. And the last prompt is, what queer books are you looking forward to in the rest of the year? Oh, well, let me look at my upcoming releases page in my book journal, wherever that is. You ever like lose pages? I do. Oh, here we go. There it is. There's my upcoming releases. The last book in the Simon Snow trilogy I'm looking forward to, Aristotle and Dante 2. I got the NetGalley arc for that one. Looking forward to reading that. And probably if this gets out, there's like a lot of other ones that I just haven't written down, but those are like the big ones. Very excited for those 3, even though I've already read If This Gets Out, and I will be reading Aristotle and Dante too in the next like 2 weeks because I got the arc and I'm so excited, you guys. But beyond that, most of my anticipated releases have already come out. But I'm very excited. If anyone has any books they're looking forward to, specifically clear ones, in the next 6 months, put them in the comments down below so I can put them on my radar. And yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below. Tell me your favorite books for each of these categories, and I will give you a hug. Happy Pride, everyone. I don't know what else to say. What's my outro? Please make sure to like, subscribe, drop a comment down below. I will see you in the next chapter. Bye!